सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। After the hectic summer, it feels good to be back and to be back into the routine. About 6 months ago or 5 months ago, we started this humongous effort, because there are 11 anuvakas of Rudram, 11 anuvakas of Chamakam, and the sankalpa that I had taken was to go through various bhashyas and to give at most comprehensive interpretation on the Rudram and Chamakam. Mostly it is Shayanacharya, Bhattabhaskara and the Shiva Itihasa. Among that Shiva Itihasa there is Skanda Deva Prokta Shiva Rudra Bhashya. And it is a joy to revel in that thought and then culminate here with the final thought process. So in this effort, last we met, we were in the second Anuvaka of Rudram. Though this is a very mystical and technical language used, trying to put it across in the most easy way that it can be understood. So we have seen in the second Anuvaka till Mantrine Vanijaya Kakshanam Pataye Namaha. So I am going to read the entire Anuvaka just for our benefit. Those of you who know it can pitch in and join along to chant it. So I will be starting from Namo Hiranya Bahave. So if you can, please do join. Namo Hiranyabahave Senanye Dishancha Pataye Namo Namo Vrikshebhyo Harikeshebhyah Pashunam Pataye Namo Nama Saspinjarayat Vishimate Pathinam Pataye Namo Namo Bablushaya Vivyadhine Nanam Pataye Namo Namo Harikeshayopavitine Pushtanam Pataye Namo Namo Bhavasya Hetyai Jagatam Pataye Namo Namo Rudraya Tata Vinekshetranam Pataye Namo Nama Sutaya Hantyaya Vananam Pataye Namo Namo Rohitaya Sthapataye Vrikshanam Pataye Namo Namo Mantrine Vanijaya Kakshanam Pataye Namo Namo Bhuvantaye Varivaskritaya Ushadhinam Pataye Namo Nama Uchchair Ghoshaya Krandayate पत्तीनां पतये नमो नमः कृत्स्नवीताय धावते सत्त्वनां पतये नमः. Rudra Prashna is a mantra. Any portion of the Vedic literature is referred to as mantra. The portions that we pick from or read from the other scriptures, Smriti, Itihasa, Purana, and the other various Rishi and Guru Sampradayas that have given us the literature, that literature can be called as the shlokas. Mantra is that special status of Vedic literature. And what does mantra mean? Mananat trayate iti mantraha. That by repeating along with its meaning and deep thorough contemplation of it unbinds us from all limitations and bondages. Such powerful one, it also gathers its potency from all the great Mahatmas who have been chanting this particular or these particular mantras. So, we have seen in the Puranas that whenever Brahmaji or Vishnu or various of these deities and the avatars are seen, like for example Prahlada, he saw Bhagavan Nrasimha, and then all the gods from the heavens, they were chanting Purusha Sukta, and they were showering the flowers. So, right from the Devas to the great Sampradaya, the great Parampara of the Rishi, Guru and various Tapasvins, Yogin, all of them who have chanted these mantras have infused their power also into this mantra. That when we chant these mantras, and when chanted rightly, with the Udatta, Anudatta, Pluta Swara, when we chant these in the right annotations? Intonations. Right intonations. Even without understanding the meaning, it has an amazing peaceful impact immediately. But that would be mantra pathana. It will be called the chanting of the mantra. It no doubt has its impact. But when that mantra has to have a deeper impact, when we understand the meaning of it and chant along with that meaning so intense should be the manana that as we are chanting through, inside what should be illumined is the meaning of that word which is being chanted. I am not talking of the line by line each different meaning or different sets of meaning. The entire crux of that meaning should be highlighted in our heart. When that percolates within, the intensity of it can guarantee that we can carry it forward even after the chanting or the mantra manana is done, back into the world of practice. That constantly what is being illumined is this knowledge, and with that illumination, when we look at the world shines forth in a total different glory. The way we look at things changes. Mananat trayate iti mantraha. And when these mantras chanted with such intensity and understanding, when you take some sankalpa. These also have the great power to fulfill that sankalpa. Therefore, these are called siddha mantras also. So, those who worship Lord Shiva, for them the greatest siddha mantra is of course pranava, then the panchakshari, or when you add the om also into it, which is not necessary. Even Namah Shivaya is more than enough. That is the only mantra wherein you don't require om to it. That's why it is called panchakshari. But if you add om also to it, it becomes shadakshari. And the greatest treasure house of all these various mantras of Lord Shiva put together is Rudram and Chamakam. And the best part of it is when you see it continuously, it has its own beauty and depth. And those of you who just pick one word and start contemplating on it, or one sentence of this mantra and start contemplating on it, individually also, it has got so much more to offer. So, here last time we saw Namo Mantrine Vanijaya Kakshanam Pataye Namaha. So, today we will start with the next part of the mantra of the first anuvaka, sorry, second anuvaka, last but third sentence. So, repeat after me. This you can repeat. That other one was like a train effect. It had to go continuously. Namo Bhuvantaye Varivaskrita Yaushadhinam Pataye Namo. As we have already indicated that the first few anuvakas we will find that there ubhabhyam namaha, that in the starting of the mantra there is namaha, in the end of the mantra as well there is namaha. So, if you see Namo Hiranyabahave Senanye Dishancha Pataye Namo, and then the second set starts Namo Vrikshebhyo Harikeshebhyah Pashunam Pataye Namo. Similarly here, Namo Bhuvantaye Varivaskrita Yaushadhinam Pataye Namo. Now let us go into the meaning part of it. Namaha. Namaha by this time should have been a very known word. Namaha means prostrations, salutations. Namaha means that act wherein there is no individuality left. The same thing can also be said, Aham te namaskaromi. Aham is the ego expressing as the doership, karomi. Why are you doing this? Namaskar, so that I am expecting some chamatkar. So, the kartrutva is for some bhoktrutva of that entity aham. In namaha, or even in that namaste, namaste is actually two parts of the same, two words in that one syllable. It is namaha te. If you can go reduce it a little. Otherwise, I will have to get up and reduce it. Thank you. There is a little resound. It should be the wireless too, not there. Okay. How is it now? Is it okay? Okay, seems to have done some magic. No, no, it's fine. So, namahate, there is no aham or karomi. There is absolutely no involvement of that individuality, doership or enjoyership. It is just the offering of complete surrender. Salutations unto thee. To whom am I offering this? Bhuvantaye. Bhuvantaye, the one who expands as the earth. We will go to the meaning later, I mean the deeper meaning. Varivaskrita. Varivaskrita, the one who resides closest to the devotee. Meaning in the heart of the devotee, the one who resides. Varivaskrita. Aushadhinam. Aushadhinam pataye. The Lord of all the cultivated and wild herbs and of crops. Aushadhi. To such one, my salutations. So, what is the complete meaning? Salutations to that one. Who is that one? Who expands the earth. The one who abides in the hearts of all devotees. The one who is the Lord of all cultivated and wild herbs of crops. Now, let us go into the deeper sense. Bhuvaha lokam tanoti iti bhuvanti. Bhuvaha lokam tanoti. Tanoti, to expand. Expand what? Bhuvar loka. Bhuvar loka, this entire earth. Tanoti, the one who expands. So, how does he expand? Bhuvanam jagat iti amara koshaha. What does bhuvana mean? Means this entire world which is created. And what does he do? He expands himself to express as this beautiful world for us to exist in. So, there should not be any doubt that every single particle of this universe, whether it is sentient or insentient, what is it? Is essentially Paramatma in that form. He is not just Vishwasya Karta, but he is also Vishwasya Vistarakaya Namaha. He is also the one who constantly expands this beautiful universe, so that it can be possible for all kinds of creatures to exist, rather coexist. All kinds of forms of beings and creatures to exist. He expands this entire world. So, sarvada sarvatra bhavati. And how does he do it? Sarvada sarvatra sarvasmin kale. At all times, at all places, there is not even a moment or a space where he exists not. And that all pervasive truth is what supports and expands and makes sure that every being is supported for in this creation. If Adi Shankaracharya ji were to comment on this, his favorite term would have been Pipilikadi Abrahma Bhuvana Paryantam. What are all that is supported? Pipilikadi, as small as a tiny ant, till the entire world which is managed by, created by that Brahma, that is also a post. Until there, every aspect of it is permeated by that Paramatma alone. So, Bhuvantaye, Bhuvantaye, the one who has not just created. See, sometimes we create, but then to manage it is such a huge task. Somewhere down the lane, it just gets. That is what has happened to my garden. With so much of travel, somewhere back then I created a garden, but now it is a jungle because it is not maintained well, it is not taken care of well. This world is not like that. He creates it, maintains it, and takes care of every being, provides for every being. Bhuvantaye. That comprehensiveness should come in the meaning. And the next word, Varivaskrita. Varivaha or Varivas as a root word means puja or seva. Varivaha or Varivas means that sa becomes the sa with a halanta becomes the visarga. So, Varivaha is puja or seva. Varivasya tu sushrusha iti amarakosha. Amarakosha also explains that Varivasya means sushrusha. Sushrusha means what? The one either who is a sishya or a upasaka or a bhakta. Now here we are talking about the Lord, therefore bhakta or a upasaka. And for those of them who have identified him as the Dakshina Murti and they have surrendered themselves as a sishya to that Dakshina Murti, then he is a guru as well. So, Varivasya means a upasaka, a sishya and a bhakta. Varivaskritaya. Varivaskritaya means what? The one who is residing. Residing where? In the bhakta, in the sishya, in the upasaka. Because where does he love to stay? Have you ever asked him? We build temples, we build various things and said, stay there. Prana Pratishtha, done. And with the kind of puja that we do, good that we do the Ashta Digbandhana during Prana Pratishtha. Otherwise, every deity from every Pratishtha would have been up and running. Dhoti pakdo, bhago. Not with the intensity of devotees or the kind of devotees that come to him, just with the puja vidhi. I have told this many times, sometimes it hurts to see when you're trying to do the Abhisheka. Recently, what was it? I was really happy that day. Janmashtami. Krishna Janmashtami. And the milk was room temperature. Otherwise, to directly from the refrigerator, bring it out. And who is it? Balakrishna. And you are pouring that 35 degree or 37 degree temperature maintained cold milk on that little fellow, poor thing. He would have been screaming and said, stop, I want to get out of this. Have you ever tried? Has anybody tried it on you? If you have been a coach and your team has won, they pull this on every coach, right? that Gatorade or ice, whatever, what do you call it? Cooler. The cooler with all Gatorade, and they bring it and pour the ice cold one. And sometimes it is freezing cold weather. In that freezing cold weather, with the freezing water, pour it on them. Hey, it is not 1 spoon or 2 spoons. Sahasra Sirsha Purusha Sahasrakshas Sahasravad Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva. We knew that we could do such mistakes and God would run away one day. So he did Ashtadigbandhana. Ashtadigbandhana from all 8 directions. You fix him in such a way that he cannot escape. And in spite of that, all our gods, all our deities maintain a smile on their face. What is the best place for this Lord? It says, that devotee who has turned his mind into being a Nitya Upasaka, a Bhakta of the highest order, a Sishya of the highest order, in such seeker's heart, Lord is constantly available, residing in and as the devotee. Therefore, he is called Varivaskrita. So, Bhuvantaye, the one who expands this universe. Varivaskrita, the one who resides in the heart of the devotee. And then there is another meaning. I was reading through our Skanda Deva Prokta Rudra Bhashya. In that he says, he gives a totally different meaning. He says, Varivaha. Varivasya has a different meaning. Varivaha means wealth, resources and riches. Varivaha means wealth, resources and riches. Tasya karta. Varivaha is the wealth and riches. Tasya karta. The one who controls it, the one who bestows it, is called Varivaskrita. So, what does he do? For each seeker to unfold in their own lives and to grow in the right direction, he provides for the entire set of beings different resources as and when required for the growth of that particular individual. We do not have what we have more than what we should or less than what we should. We just have to know how to use that resourcefulness so that I can grow to the next level. There is a story, this comes, I have not come across this in any Purana, but definitely the Purana speakers on that, the Harikatha speakers, they come up with some amazing stories. So, once Bhagavan Krishna and Arjuna were traveling and they reach a rich man, a Sethji's house, and having reached the Sethji's house, Sethji takes care of Lord Krishna coming into their house. He goes through the entire 9 yard, takes care of Bhagavan with such pomp and show. And Bhagavan blesses him. May your wealth, may your Shri multiply hundreds of folds. So Arjuna, as was the devotee, Lord, your blessings was also amazing. So in their next visit, they go to a poor Brahmin's house. The Brahmin said, Bhagavan, I am so happy. All that I can offer is my prostrations and my tears to wash your feet and I have just one cow. Whatever milk it gives, I will give it to you as the offering. So Bhagavan Krishna, he says, he blesses him. May you lose that cow soon. Now Arjuna was like, you are a thorough capitalist, Krishna. In your creation, the rich become richer and the poor become poorer. And your blessings are also like that. You should be, sent to America. You are such a capitalistic. So Bhagavan said, "Chilla kyun rahe ho bhai? Let me do my job." Said, "Why did you do that?" Now you have asked the right question. See, Arjuna always has this tendency to first jump into conclusion and then ask questions. Why did you do that? So Bhagavan says that rich man had so much wealth, but he had absolutely no vairagya. One good way to give vairagya is that you fill it with such exceeding amount that you get disgusted of it and then finally give up. Kanakadasa, Purandaradasa, all of their life history, they talk about, especially Kanakadasa's story. He was a wealthy man. Was it Kanakadasa? Purandaradasa. So he was a wealthy man, and finally what he did, he got disgusted of his wealth, left everything and became the greatest devotee of the Lord. But in order that this fellow gets that kind of vairagya, that kind of viveka, I had to pump him with more and more of it. So much that he could not even imagine. So then what about this Brahman, poor fellow, all that he had for his entire family was one cow, and that also you said, may you lose it quickly. They said he had paripurna viveka. The only thing that was blocking him from growing and unfolding was his attachment to the cow. Therefore, I blessed him to lose it quickly. Now, if you understand this, you will never ever question again. Why do bad things happen to good people? He blesses, he provides. Varivaha. He provides for every single being that which is necessary, that which is required by that individual, so that they can grow to the next level of their unfoldment. How you use it is in your hand. Between Eknath and Tukaram, both had beautiful wives, but one was such a pain that she would constantly keep criticizing him day in and day out. You are a useless fellow sitting in front of that little piece of stone and think that something miraculous will happen. The money doesn't grow in trees. You have to put effort. I didn't realize when I was getting married that I would be getting married to such a dumb-witted fellow. Constant cribbing. And he would come sit in front of the Lord and he would say, Bhagavan, thank you. If my wife was somebody who was so loving, probably I would have been enticed into that maya and I would have never gotten vairagya towards the world and worldliness and focus on you. Go to the next house. How was his wife? She was such a docile, loving, caring. providing for everything required for his devotion. She would wake up 2 hours earlier than him, go fetch all the flowers, make beautiful garlands, sit down and take out all the paste of that sandalwood, so that her husband gets it on time, so that he can worship that Lord Krishna. And then she would quickly go make some nice bhog for the Lord, that it can be offered to him. And then he would go do his katha and pravachan, come back. She would keep the food ready and serve the food, and then she quickly eat, and then at the night she would press his feet. So loving and caring. And he would always go to the Lord and say, Bhagavan, Teri Leela apar. Thanks for taking care of me so that I have such a wife who is in tune with my interest and provides for every single step in my life, so that I don't need to think about anything else in. You see the difference? When we see somebody who has it better than what I have, I don't know, why did I not have it? Baba Vari Vaha. He is that resource, that wealth, that riches. He will provide that which is required by each being for their growth, for their immediate step of growth. That day we understand His grace, His providence and His love for each one of us. That He is providing the exact precise environment for our growth. Your little toddler, would you suddenly take him on a two-wheeler, put him and said, go, learn cycling? No. At that age, what would you give them? At least back in India, we used to have this made of wood. It would be 3-legged and it would have small wheels, 3 wheels. And a little handle on wherein all the 3 legs would, 2 legs and the third one from the front would come and merge, and to hold that handle, and then that's the best that you can provide. Now that is the right thing to be provided for at that age. And then finally learns to walk. I don't know where they get the energy, because they don't seem to be eating anything. But they keep running. They should take the, there is an advertisement for the, what do you call, batteries. Energizer bunny. Instead of the bunny, they can put a kid. यो गोल गोल घूमते रहते हैं और इतनी शक्ति है. They don't require that anymore. So as soon as they transcend that, then you remove it, put it aside. If you are intelligent, you are putting it aside, not throwing it, because you will have, this is only chinku. Chinku ke baad tinku, pinku, minku. So you will save all of that. And in the ancient days, it was like, it is not just for chinku, tinku, minku, pinku. It was for the children of chinku, minku, pinku, tinku also. It would be saved. Your father also played with these things. You will provide it at that time. Then comes the age wherein now they can, they say, I will also want to cycle. At a 3-4 age, you will not have that kind of a balance. So instead of cycle, you will buy tricycle. And they are still at that age wherein they cannot pedal. In this country though, it will come with a seat belt also. Put a seat belt on, there is a handle, and then you pull them everywhere. Like a lawnmower. You keep taking it. Then they get the final, then they get little pedals onto that. Then the next stage is they have a cycle, but it has those training wheels. Then comes the stage wherein The training wheels are also removed. Now it is a perfect balance. And they do a lot of stunts also. Mommy, look, I can ride it without one leg on it. Take another foot. I can ride it with both foot, away from the pedals. And then take one hand off. I can take away both feet and one hand. And then take two hands off. And then fall. And mommy comes. Now you can ride it without teeth also. Slowly, steadily they will grow, and you as parents provide exactly that which is required for them, that which they can handle at that particular moment. Don't we? Okay. You're all like, now why would that Lord not take, it's not just about taking care of human beings. Every single creature, He is that resource which He provides and expresses Himself as that resource. So that which we consider as our problem, somebody irritating, somebody causing constant frustration, or something causing constant frustration, understand, Lord, how torturous it must be for you to express yourself as this problem. I have to just face it couple of hours. You have to live it, live like it, all through, so that I can grow. So there is not a single opportunity, it's not a single experience that we have which is provided just like that for the fun of it, so that he can sit there and watch the fun. मजा आया, कल किसको पीटेंगे? Whom shall I pick on tomorrow? No. Each one with his compassion is providing that opportunity. Varivaha. There is another meaning, extension of the earlier meaning, which Skandadeva says that there are various Puranas that he quotes, and he says, since the Lord lives in the heart of the devotees, any services offered to that Lord means nothing, because he is already full, he is already content. Therefore, a greater service is that service which you can provide for the devotees of the Lord, because where is that Lord? In the heart of the devotee. Therefore, around the temples you build nice steps to climb up, provide shade, all done by us, so that the devotees in whose heart the Lord is, they can be served through these different amenities that which can provide. Dharma Satra, you create all these little places wherein they can take rest, dig wells, they are all called Punya Karma. Lay roads, dig wells, plant trees that which can provide shelter, that which can provide shade, that which can provide fruits. You have to go to the temple, and all around the temple they have eucalyptus tree or taad ke ped, what do you call, palm tree. And Kabir Das ji rightly points, बड़े हुआ तो क्या हुआ, जैसा पेड़ खजूर. If you have become tall like the palm tree, what good is it? Why? पति को तो नहीं देत छाए, फल लागे अति दूर. For the one who is walking, there is no shade, and even the fruits are inaccessible. To climb any other tree is easy. To climb coconut and palm trees is a skill. If you don't know how to climb, you will come back with a ripped back, with a patterned ripped back. Experience से बोल रहा हूँ मैं. So it has to be provided for, so that the devotee, when he is served, it is directly reaching the Lord. Varivaha. Now the next one. Aushadhinam pataye namaha. O Lord of all Aushadhi, salutations unto you. In the Taittiriya Upanishad it comes, Aushadibhyonnam. That from this Aushadhi comes Anna. That Anna is nothing but Aushadhi. Kshut vyadhischa chikitsyatam pratidinam bhikshaushadam bhujyatam. This comes in our Sadhana Panchakam. Kshut, hunger, is a vyadhi. It's a perennial vyadhi. Every 4-5 hours once it knocks our door. And what do? You give it the medicine of Anna, Aushadha. All plants, the entire plant kingdom has something beautiful to offer for the entire beings. There was this famous Ayurvedic doctor cum teacher. His name is Nagarjuna. He was running a big Ayurvedic school. Every year when the students graduated, after the graduation ceremony, Snataka Utsava is done, he would ask for Guru Dakshina. And his Guru Dakshina was also so beautiful that he would ask. He would say that next 1 year, I would want each one of you go into various parts of from where you come from. Search and find a leaf, a branch, a bark, a trunk, a tree, or its roots, its fruits, its flowers, which is not useful for humanity. Bring that part and give it to me as Guru Dakshina. And his record was that through his entire history of teaching, no student ever came back with Guru Dakshina. Not because they did not care for searching. That would be this time and period of Kali Yuga. They would go back and it would serve two purposes. That they would go into their locality, their vicinity, understand their plant kingdom in that particular area, understand each part of it and how it is well utilized. Meaning every plant has got something amazing, including grass. I don't know if I will say this, you will laugh at it, but have you ever had chutney made out of durvankura? Durva grass, commonly known in US as the Bermuda grass, that which grows everywhere. The tender leaves of it, they make a chutney out of it. I have had it. A very nice tasting. It satisfied my probably a goat or a buffalo vasana inside. I did not start giving milk, but there is no plant out there which is not useful for some way or the other to protect the human system. You can point out something and say, how is this useful? I am not a botanist, I am not an Ayurvedic specialist, but this is what is the claim of Ayurveda. That much I can propose. See, if you have grown up in an Indian household with your grandparents, I was lucky enough to grow with both sets of them, and they come up with such amazing quick remedies, home remedies. And this time while running the YUP course, and they would come with some kind of, I would give them these remedies, and they would be wonders. I thought they had to take the medicine and it just fixed. Where do you think the medicine component is coming from? Somewhere from this plant kingdom only. And sometimes they would try to beat the acharyas in eating spicy food. It would upset their stomachs. Unplugged. Have the methi seeds. 1 spoon of methi seeds with yogurt. Plugged. There is no more what you call diarrhea. Okay. Diarrhea is stopped. We call it loose motions, the same difference. I think every aspect of this creation, now connect the dots. What are the dots? That the entire creation is interdependent. We breathe out, the plant kingdom sucks it in and gives out what we breathe in. And unwittingly, we are becoming enemies for that which sustains us. That we have to be taught to be environmentally conscious. Create more of plantation. Have you ever been to New York? I am sure you have. The Sunday edition of New York Times. Have you seen it? First time I saw, my jaw dropped. I said, what is this? I said, this is newspaper. This thick. Right? There are so many supplements, so many advertisements, so many things. And somebody did a research and they said, to create one newspaper of every edition of Sunday with all its supplements, it takes a 7 to 8 year tree to create one newspaper. And they must be selling it in what? Millions at least? Okay, whatever, huge number. That many trees constantly. We talk today about recycling. Before talking about recycling, our age-old system was reusing. It became a fashion to carry a plastic bag. Now all these stores are selling us back a bag which we already used to have. And it would have been made with a thick canvas, the 2-3 bags, and you carry those 2-3 big bags, put your groceries, come back, some tomato or something, bursts and there is all this splash all. Rinse it once, put it in the sun, and next again, take it again. So much of plastic, spoons, bottles, constantly wasted. The example that came into my mind, I may be picking 2 of you here, but don't take it personally. Drink water, bottle. Carry a bottle that can be reused. That is healthy also. I am not picking on both of you, but just mentioning it. Because this society, this entire creation is not just a vacuum. We are an integral part of it. As much as we consume, we should be able to give. In fact, Gurudev's slogan had always been, give more than what you take and produce more than what you consume. So the link in all these three words is the world is expanded and sustained by him, both as expressing as the world and also by sustaining everything in it by providing the aushadhi. So he is the anna, all the grains, all the food produce, all the herbs. He is the one who is sustaining and expanding. There is another meaning of aushadhi. Aushadhi is, here the entire word is aushadhinam pataye namaha. So aushadhinam pataye namaha, as much as the plant kingdom requires sun for its photosynthesis. I am trying to remember my 6th grade syllabus. So photosynthesis, right? Chlorophyll and Ayurveda very clearly says that the entire plant kingdom also requires the moonlight. With the moonlight comes the nourishment. Therefore, for the entire plant kingdom, who is the aushadhinam pataye, is the moon. So here he expresses as the moon, so that the entire creation be provided of the plant kingdom as the moon. What does the moon do? He absorbs the sun's heat and light, turns it into cool mystical radiation of light. कितने गाने हैं? What is the famous of the moon songs? What is the first song that came into your head? Okay, there is a combination of Hindi and English and Telugu songs. आता है चंद्रमा चौदहवीं का चांद. And what was yours? चांद फिर निकला, चांद का टुकड़ा. अरे वाह वाह वाह. Song's name is enough. अब म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर सिंगर सब बताने लगोगे तो अष्टमी चंद्र दलिकस्तर. That's a good one. So it comes from the Lalita Sahasranama. So all these different aspects of moon is what provides that nourishment in the food products. That is what provides the nourishment. In fact, there are certain herbs there, the prescription is that those herbs have to be grown to a certain days, certain count of exposure to the moonlight. There are some roots that they pluck that they have to be exposed to certain cycles of full moon, so that it gets that nourishment through the moon's light. The claim is that it becomes more potent. The power of that herb becomes more potent. So he is that blazing truth that sustains this expansion, bhuvanti, as the sun or like the sun, and he brings forth life. As soon as the sun is up, he brings forth all beings to life. Up until then, we are all in deep slumber. As soon as the sun is there, the bhuvanti, it expands. And to that expansion, he sustains it as this vegetation, and to that vegetation, he provides nourishment through the moon. See the link connecting it? So far, in these two anuvakas, as we have seen through different mantras, we have seen that the Lord has been explained as wearing upavitine, upavitine as a Brahmana. Utota Ishave Namaha, the one who is holding the Astra Shastra as the Kshatriya. Vanijaya, Vanijaya, the earlier mantra. Mantrine Vanijaya Kakshanam Pataye Namaha. So Vanijaya, the one who is the Vaishya. And Vananam Pataye Namaha, the Shudra. So even if there is a classification of the caste system, the expression of the Lord alone is in different forms. No form is greater, no form is smaller. Every expression in this creation is equally divine. What is that farm? There is a book, Animal Farm, right? There is one beautiful sentence in it. Exactly. All pigs are born equal, except some are more equal. That is our interpretation of what we have taken from the scripture. But he is the one who is equally expressing through everything in an impartial way. To such impartial form of that divine and his aspect, Namaha, salutations and prostrations. Now moving forward, repeat after me. Uchchair ghoshaya. Okay. Nama uchchair ghoshaya. Akrandayate. Pattinam. Pataye namo. Nama uchchair ghoshaya krandayate pattinam pataye namo. Namaha, salutations to the one who uchchair ghoshaya, the one, there are two meanings here, one who makes loud sounds. The second meaning is unto the one for whom we make loud sounds. Both meanings. One meaning is the one who himself makes loud sounds. The second meaning is unto whom we dedicate these loud sounds. If you have gone to a temple during an arti time, and there were time when there was nagadas and trumpets and bells, conches, big called cymbals, and then there is one wherein there is a metal tray and you hit it with a gong, all of them, and then to the top of it shankha, and then the bell in the hand of the priest. And in today's world, all human element is removed. All that the priest does is turns the switch on. This was 15 years ago. Turns the switch on. So there is a trumpet, there is a bell, there is a gong, there is a little drum, and there is this wheel that keeps rotating and it makes sound. Just 15 years ago. Recently, they have removed that gadget. They play MP3 sound through the speaker. So all these different sounds made, for whom? Unto that my prostrations and salutations. उच्चैर्घोषाय नमः। आक्रंदयते नमः। आक्रंदयते, the one who makes everyone, in this case an enemy, cry out loud. If in the text messages they have LOL, here we can put the message as COL, cry out loud. The one who makes the enemies, or those who are not obedient, those who are going against the law, going against the system, makes them cry. Akrandayate. Pattinam pataye namaha. Here the ta has another ta. So it is not Patinam pataye, Pattinam pataye namaha. In the olden days, there was every kingdom, every king had the armed forces. Very specialized ones had Chaturangini Sena. Chaturangini Sena, 4 limbs, Chatura Anga, Chatuhu Anga Sena. Anga is limbs. One was the foot soldiers. The second one was the cavalry, the horses. Third one was the chariots. And the fourth one was elephants. So all these put together are called Chaturangini Sena. The smallest format of Sena is Patti. Patti, a foot soldier, is called Patti. And these foot soldiers can be assigned to various duties. To take care of the horses, to take care of the chariot, to take care of the elephants. But essentially, you join in as the lowest rookie, is called a Patti. I didn't realize we could use it that way. So instead of calling somebody a rookie, you can call him, he is just a Patti. Entry level. Essentially, the entire armed forces were made out of these Patti. There are about 11 different cadres. Patti, Chamu, and the final bigger one was Akshohini. And bigger than Akshohini is Maha Akshohini. In Akshohini itself, when you put all those people, just the human count, it's about 250,000 people in one Akshohini. $21,680 horses, 21,680 elephants, 65,000 plus are the chariots, and then 1,35,000 were the foot soldiers. So all of them put together would make it one Akshohini. But the smallest unit of even the Akshohini is called the Patti. So of all the soldiers, Pattinam pataye namaha. Pataye namaha. The Lord of all the soldiers is Bhagavan, and unto such Bhagavan our prostrations. See, if there was no bhashya, to understand this different pieces of words, so disconnected, becomes so difficult. First of all, it is very dry, and there seems to be no connection. What kind of a meaning is that? Lord of all the soldiers. So let us go into the deeper meaning. Uchchair ghoshaya Namaha. The one whose very presence destroys the enemies without even having to lift a astra or shastra. Tripurasura trembled, not Tripurasura, the Tripura trembled because he made that the sound, the garjana, that the entire Tripura trembled and went into, derailed out of its path of movement. He didn't even lift his astra or shastra. When somebody says Simha Nada, believe me, it is that impactful. When I was young, okay, don't tell this secret to anybody. Okay. When I was young, we were about 30-40 cousins. We were in village and there was this Gemini circus. So we were all given, in those days, to be given 5 rupees or 10 rupees, I think 10 rupees. It was a lot of money. So that was for the entire month pocket money. It was given to us, each one, 30-40 of us. So we all decided that we will go to this circus. I was the second oldest one in that entire group. So we bought our tickets. As we were going in, we had lot of time. So as we were going in one corner of that tent, there was this cage. There was a lion lazily sleeping in the cage. Unfortunately, its tail was hanging outside. That I know very practically, sote hue sher ko jagana. We were supposed to go straight inside. Somebody said, I dare you all, whoever can pull the tail of that lion. So we all, 30-40 of us, such a chaos there. Finally we decided, so what is in it for that one who goes and pulls? Whatever amount of money that was left from in each one of us after buying the ticket, they all put it in a bag. This is for that fellow. So everybody were looking and looking and looking, and okay. They keep it ready, I'll come back. So I jumped the fence. Not into the cage, just jumped the fence, went near the cage, and with both my hands, pulled the tail. Man, it turned around and I can still remember the sound in my ears. I was so scared just listening to the sound. 4 of them who had also climbed across the fence, I was the one who pulled it. 4 of them, myself, and 3 of them the other side of the fence. About 10 to 11 of us were down with 4 days of fever just out of fear. So when they say that this Himhanada, it is a terrifying sound. And when Lord makes that sound, he just trembled Tripura. With just the look of his eye, Kamadeva was burnt to ashes. He doesn't even need to lift a bow or arrow. And with the tip of his nakha, he toppled one head of Brahma. Until then, Brahmaji was a pentaprocessor. Then he became a quad processor. He is screaming, is that powerful that the enemy would be rattled in the battlefield. This is one meaning of Uchchair Ghoshaya. The second meaning of it, as I was researching in, those who know Tamil, correct me if I am saying this name right. Manikya Vachagar, right? He writes a very beautiful, piece of poetry in which the translation that I saw was beautiful. So he says, those who are around the Lord, there are some of them on one side standing, who with their veena, mridanga, cymbals and all these flute and other instruments, they are making their sound to get the attention of the Lord. Then there are those on the other side who in the top of their lungs are doing Veda mantra, that is all Veda Ghosha, Uchchair Ghoshaya. If somebody is chanting Veda mantra, if it is a rightful teacher there, they will give him a top spin and say, read it loud. Sahasrashirsha Purushaha. It has to come out that loud. Vedanada. So there are those who are doing Vedic Rik mantras, they are chanting to seek the Lord and His attention. On the other side, there are those who are, in their deepest connection of devotion, whose hearts have melted down, and they are also dancing in ecstasy and crying out loud. It is called Ananda Bhashpa. It is not, out of desperation, Ananda Bhashpa. They are there making their own sounds. On the other side, there are those who out of their desperation but still trying to reach for the Lord, they are also crying. Can you imagine an environment wherein the Lord is seated and all these different kinds of noises being made? And one of our Swamiji says, if you go to Gaya or Orissa mein jo temple hai, no, the other one, Puri, Jagannath Puri, or go to Badrinath, such places, there is another layer of sound of all the pandas, all the priests. They are like the local clout. I don't want to use any other harsh word. They are making their sounds. And come another layer. There are those who are trying to grab the attention of those who are trying to seek the attention of the Lord. Nariyal kharido, phool kharido, this kharido, that kharido. Uchchair Ghoshaya. All these people in turn are trying to reach that Lord and seek His attention alone, one way or the other. So all these loud sounds made, that for whom it is made, to such Lord Shiva, our prostrations and salutations. The point here being, it is not the decibel level. Uchcha can also mean the highest quality or intensity with which you yearn for the Lord and call for Him. Uchchair Ghosha is one meaning is loud voice, loud noise. Uchcha also means the highest quality with which you turn to that Lord and call for Him. उच्चैर घोषाय आक्रंदयते. Akrandayate. Bhagwan also is called that one. Our Akhandanand Ji Maharaj says, वो जो गरजते बरजते हैं. So that the dharma, adharma is explained to every being. And he expresses through all those well-wishers who are trying to correct us. And when somebody is trying to correct us, aren't they in their topmost voice? And if we don't listen to it, what happens? We start burning our fingers and akrandayate. Akrandayate, those who cry. As the repercussions of not listening to the call from the Lord. Akrandayate. Pattinam, every being. Aren't we soldiers? Trying to battle our own little battles? Tap any human being beyond hi, how are you? अपनी आप बीती सुनाने के लिए तैयार है. Aren't we? Don't we have our own stories? Don't we have our own challenges? Don't we have our own little problems? So those who are equipping themselves to face these different challenges, they are referred to here as the soldiers. And this one line particularly had a personal appeal to me, because the first time when I met Gurudev, not first time actually, first time when I met him to seek permission to join the Vedanta course, he kept pushing that entire topic for a while, just to pull my leg, kept teasing me for a while. And then finally he interviewed, because he was eating dosa at that moment. He knew why I was there. I was there for asking permission. There were already 7 of them who had been rejected by him, and I was hesitant myself that I did namaskar. I didn't ask because maybe Gurudev's mood is not right that day. I didn't want to take chances, so I kept quiet. So since I was hesitant, he was like teasing me and playing me around. What? And then he nicely squeezed that mooli sambar. Mooli he was squeezing, and then he put that dosa, wrapped it around, and then he showed it and no, and then put it in his mouth. If you have come for this dosa, I am not giving it to you, I am eating it myself. Talk that for which you have come. I was still hesitant. Then finally mustered up some courage and I said, you know why I have come for Swami. So, what have you studied? That was the biggest thing, a question mark that I had, 12th grade. So he looked. And next very question, what do your parents do? And both of them are educated, both of them are doing jobs. Any brothers and sisters? I said, I have one brother, younger one, he is studying. Any sisters? I said, no. And he said, good. That was the first time I felt, thank God I don't have sisters. And then, does your family have any financial burdens at this and that? He asked all these questions. Have you applied? Yes, Swami, I have applied. So I will meet you in the inauguration. And then he removed another piece of dosa, dipped it in that sambar, and put it in my mouth. I said, Chinmaya requires such soldiers. So when I saw this, the meaning, Pattinam Pathaye, the Lord of all soldiers who are ready, who are willing to face their challenges with wisdom, with courage and with inner balance. To such ones, to show the right path, that Lord takes different forms. To such Lord, salutations and prostrations. Pattinam pataye namo. There is one more sentence for this particular Anuvaka. We will see it tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.